So we all know the Fallout universe plays host to a very large variety of factions. However, one of the most powerful of all was known as the Enclave, which existed from the beginning of the apocalypse in the year 2077 all the way to their eventual defeat at the hands of the Brotherhood of Steel nearly 200 years later in the Capital Wasteland. My name is Nate, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brief history of the Enclave. Formed shortly before the Great War, the Enclave was comprised of high-level United States government personnel and social elite, consisting of generals, scientists, wealthy corporation leaders, politicians, and most notably of all, the last United States president himself. The Enclave's plan for action was simple. Wait out the initial fall of the bombs in their various shelters and safe zones, and continue to wait until the Earth's surface was habitable again. They would then re-emerge from their various fallout shelters and locations to re-secure their power over the land that used to be the US of A. However, they wouldn't stop there. They also planned to continue to wage war against China and eradicate communism forever. And in the beginning, the Enclave largely executed this plan as expected. From when the bombs first fell until the Earth was habitable again, the Enclave simply fell back to their various fallout shelters and safe zones, most notably one of which was located on the Poseidon Energy oil rig, which would become their headquarters. And from these various bases, they continued to develop technology, such as their trademark power armor, as well as collect research and data until about a century later when the Enclave finally decided it was high time to retake the wastes of America. So they re-emerged from their shelters and began scouting California, the closest former state to their oil rig. It was during their time in California that the Enclave would come across samples of the Forced Evolutionary Virus, or FEV, beneath a military base. This virus was very good at making things mutate, and the Enclave wanted to see all the crazy shit they could do with it. So they rounded up the entire population of Volt 13, as well as a very large number of tribal captives, and shipped them off to their oil rig HQ, where they would run experiments on them. It was during this time that a rightfully pissed off tribal, known only as the Chosen One, arrived on the Enclave's oil rig and freed the Volt 13 and tribal captives. The Chosen One would go on to initiate the oil rig self-destruct sequence and destroy the Enclave's precious Poseidon Energy oil rig headquarters, along with many of their leaders, notably including their president, the appropriately named Dick Richardson. However, despite this undeniably massive loss, the Enclave would still continue to function, notably at Raven Rock in the Capital Wasteland, home of the Enclave's ZAX mainframe, a series of advanced supercomputers capable of learning independent thought and of becoming self-aware. The ZAX at Raven Rock soon created the AI persona John Henry Eden to act as the Enclave's new leader following the death of Richardson. Eden assumed control of the Enclave presidency, and would order a scientist in California under the name Augustus Sr. to lead what was left of the Enclave forces in the West Coast back to the Capital Wasteland and the Enclave's new headquarters in Raven Rock, DC. Autumn Sr. obeyed, and began to lead what was left of the Enclave forces in the West Coast to the Capital Wasteland. The few forces he would leave behind would eventually be destroyed by the combined might of the Brotherhood of Steel and New California Republic. But nonetheless, Autumn Sr. eventually arrived at Raven Rock along with the Enclave forces he led. Autumn Sr. would eventually die, and his son, Augustus Autumn, would become the commanding officer of the Enclave's military forces. John Henry Eden, the AI persona now at the helm of the Enclave, planned to control the Capital Wasteland through its water supply. And when the Enclave got wind of an ambitious project known as Purity, a scientific experiment designed to hopefully restore clean water to the ruins of DC, Eden acted, sending Enclave forces to capture the purifier and headquarters in the Jefferson Memorial. But instead of purifying the water, Eden was planning to release a now modified version of the original Forced Evolutionary Virus. This variant, however, would poison all mutant life, and as Eden put it, cleanse the wastes. A plan that, if acted, would kill many of the Capital Wasteland's hostile life, but also countless innocents. However, before Eden could see his plan realized, Raven Rock and Eden himself were destroyed by someone known only as the Lone Wanderer. Whether or not the Capital Wasteland's water supply was purified or compromised with the FEV depends on the decisions of the same Wanderer. Since their defeat in DC, the Enclave would also lose control of their communications base to the Brotherhood of Steel, and what was left of them either completely retreated from or attempted to assimilate with the east coast of the United States, and the Enclave fractured into nothing more than a few small isolated bases across what was left of the good old US of A. It is suggested, however, that the Enclave does still have a significant influence in the ruins of Chicago, where they likely sit to this day plotting another shot at American domination. Hey guys, Nate here. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. This video is mainly going to be set up as a prelude to a video I'm doing in the future that should be out within the next week or so, depending on how quickly I get around to it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one too. Peace out, guys.